Thanks for joining me for video 2 of our Willpower series. Now that we have the basics, let's dive into some really important information to know. You've probably heard of your prefrontal cortex. That's that front part of the brain that helps make some decisions. And it's actually the last part of your brain to fully develop. It doesn't fully mature until about the age of 25. Now, this is the part of the brain that controls how we express our personality, what we think about, what we put our attention to, and how we express how we feel. It's like having two people living inside of your mind. I want what I want versus constraining to be able to accomplish your long-term goals. The impulsive part of your brain is called the primitive brain, and the cognitive is the part of your brain that is able to focus on longer-term goals. That's why if it doesn't fully mature until about the age of 25, why it's so difficult for young adults or teenagers to be able to see long-term consequences. So this is really like two people living inside of your mind, that impulsive and that long term, that I want what I want and that I need to constrain myself here so that I can accomplish these bigger goals. And it's like two systems trying to overpower one another so that one can win over the other. So for me, this explains a lot of this inner conflict that I experience often when I'm trying to make big decisions. And speaking of decisions, somewhere between 90 and 95% of the decisions that we make are instinctual. In other words, it's based off of what we know to be true about the circumstances right now, and also based on our previous knowledge. Our brain pulls it in very, very quickly and goes boop and makes a decision. And it's usually an emotional decision. And then what we wind up doing is rationalizing our emotional decision moving forward. So we've already made the decision, this is what I wanted, I got it, and then now we have to kind of justify and rationalize that decision that we made because we can't make ourselves wrong for it. We've got to make ourselves right for it. So we spend a lot of time rationalizing instead of what we should have done is pause, thought, and try to bring in long-term vision of what that decision might make for us. And so we can train our brain. If you practice worrying, you'll get really good at worrying. So make sure that where your focus is at is what you want your focus to go at. Instead of the thing you don't want, focus on the thing that you do want. And that's where you can train your brain to be focused on the positive and not the negative. And if you've got any big decisions to make, morning is best when your dopamine and your serotonin levels are at their highest. They get depleted throughout the day because of all of those decisions and choices that you have to make. So remember to pause before you act. In video 3, let's talk about stress.